I wanted to do something a bit more simple this week, so I decided to go with the video idea I've had brewing for just over a year. As you can tell from the title, this is reimagining Kep1er with LOONA's Who's Next Girl debut concept. Obviously this could never have happened due to the fact that Kep1er was formed through a survival show, but that's why it's fun to imagine alternative realities. Remember when it was like a mini trend where everyone gave their faves a LOONA solo or their own Who's Next Girl era? That was fun. The Who's Next Girl era is a completely unique debut concept and one that is incredibly bittersweet to me now. While I love the songs and the videos really stirring it, knowing what we know now about how the girls were treated and the financial burden placed on them, I can no longer call it one of the best in the industry. So in this alternative reality we are creating, there are unlimited funds that never have to be paid back, there's a big food budget spent on ensuring the members' health, and nobody has to feel any guilt over supporting an exploitative company when they didn't know any better. I decided to split them up and order them based on the final rankings from Girls Planet because it is another official order from them that isn't age order. Due to that, we start with Chaehyun as our first girl. If you watched my reimagining Kep1er video, I will be reusing the colors and animals from that. So ironically, our first member is pink, just like Yujin. However, her animal is also within the rodent family. Actually, I don't know if rabbits are within that family. I feel like I read somewhere that they aren't, but in Icelandic they are because we call rodents gnaw animals, so they just always will be to me. Also, I'm allergic to them, rodents, and cats, and they sure don't fall into the same category as cats. Anyways, the animal I chose is a chipmunk. Since hers is where it all begins, I decided to kind of build the story around her solo release. Starting with IU's Celebrity as the title track, I figured the story could show Chaehyun as two people, a superstar singer and the fan, but only the fan part is the reality. The superstar singer is actually someone else, but Chaehyun is imagining it being herself. The outro of the video would show Chaehyun with headphones on, singing along to the song when she stops to look at a wall full of advertisements and posters, ripping off a tag for a pretty inconspicuous poster for a Stargazers club. The camera pans down to a poster that just says XOXO. You're my For her B-side, I thought Wheon's Paraglide would suit her a lot. It's a really light and airy song that makes you think of flying through the sky. Like the Vivid acoustic version video and the Every Day I Need You videos, I figured this could get a more scenic video with less story. Something along the lines of Chaehyun spending a day home alone, listening to music from a vinyl, dancing softly around the house, kind of showing the daily life of the fan from the first music video. I also think it could have some cute hints like maybe a calendar with the date of the next solo circled. The next solo is Bahiyyih, and I think this one might be a tiny bit controversial as a concept, but I need you guys to just walk with me. For her, I chose white as the representative color and an owlfinch as her animal. These are both very soft, and I generally associated them with Bahiyyih because of how reserved, bright, and soft-spoken she's been in the content I've watched of her. But the solo I picked for her kind of doesn't match them at all. Somi's XOXO is her title track, and it's a bit more gritty than I think most people expect from Bahiyyih. However, I think that if given the chance to interpret the character, she would actually excel at it, and I think it would help her gain confidence as a performer much quicker. Like the Bahiyyih we're seeing now in Galileo. Since the song is a breakup anthem, I feel like we can kind of draw parallels to Around You in that sense. While that song was about not being able to approach the one she loves, this time I think we can show the end of that relationship. Although I do feel the subject matter doesn't quite match the vision I have for this first unit's story, so we're taking some creative liberties. The music video, like Chaehyun's, will feature two versions of Bahiyyih. The first is the real-life version, the one who's definitely not handling a breakup and the loneliness accompanying it well. Through a doodle in a textbook, we're transported into a revenge fantasy where Bahiyyih becomes the most popular girl around, surrounded by friends and admirers, while the ex is the one feeling broken. I want the music video to have the same sort of vibe as a dark teen rom-com. Think To All the Boys meets the tiniest bit of Bottoms. By the end of the last chorus, we see Bahiyyih come to terms with the reality that she's isolated herself while she sits on a pier at sunset. And genuinely in my head, this video is set in like Santa Barbara or Miami or similar. When she gets up at the end and starts walking towards the start of the pier, she's stopped by a paper that almost flew into the ocean. She picks it up, goes to throw it away before unfolding it to see another version of the Stargazers Club from Chaehyun's music video. We see Chaehyun peek out from behind some kind of stand or pole and smile at Bahiyyih finding the poster. That vision got way too detailed, whoa. Anyways, for her B-side we get Bull 4's Blue with Chaehyun. In the music video for that we start pretty similar to the XOXO music video, but from Chaehyun's point of view. We see her noticing Bahiy's withdrawal and loneliness and empathizing with it. I also see there being a little animated section in the bridge where we see Chaehyun imagining how to reach out to her as their animal forms. By the end of the song, instead of ending at Chaehyun setting it up for Bahiyyih to find the poster, we instead see the alternative version in her head in the animated style of her walking up to sit with Bahiyyih at the end of the pier, which eventually fades back into the classroom, except this time it's only Bahiyyih and Chaehyun in it, and despite initially sitting far apart, Chaehyun goes up to sit next to her and they share a smile. Basically, I want this unit to really be about the importance of having a support system and someone who can lift you up when you're feeling down. The third and final member of this unit becomes Yujin. I wanted her to have something really bright because not only do I think that suits her, I think that's what she herself wants to do. As in my previous video, she gets fuchsia and an otter as her representatives. Because I wanted something bright, I flip-flopped between a few options such as Weekend and Blooming before settling on Nayeon's Pop. Unlike the previous two, for her I thought it would make more sense to start in the fantasy. We see a very technicolor world full of bright colors where Yujin is the main character. It draws some inspiration from movies like Grease, and we can see that Yujin is very aware of the object of her affection being head over heels for her while she's busy fending off other admirers crowding around her booth at a diner. The pre-chorus features several scenes with no backdrop where we only have Yujin and the person she really wants. The chorus is where the fantasy drops, and we see that in real life, Yujin is hopelessly pining after them while they seemingly don't notice her. Throughout the second verse and chorus, we see her take inspiration from her fantasy on how to approach them, which culminates in the bridge where each countdown matches with a step in her plan. In the final chorus, she's made her move, but we're clearly in the fantasy world. The song ends with a swift re-entry to Earth when we see them go off with another girl. A completely dejected Yujin closes her locker and finds the Stargazer Club poster on the door. She starts looking around for whoever put it there, doesn't find them, and walks out of the school with the poster in hand. Dayeon's Happy Trip serves as the collaboration between Yujin and Bahiyyih. The music video focuses on them, as well as Chaehyun going on a small road trip. By the bridge, they've settled in a field in the evening. The last chorus shows the three of them using a telescope, the three members of the Stargazers Club together at last. If you're familiar with how Luna's introduction worked, you would know that it's time for a unit. I decided to give all the units space themes because, believe it or not, I am awful at coming up with unit or group names. This first unit is one I'm calling Daybreak, referencing their role as the first members, first unit, and also as a reference to the sun concept. Their first mini-album is called Rise and Up, and I think we all need to acknowledge two things. First of all, I am awful at photo editing. And secondly, Kep1er really need to do more unit photos, and specifically units that match the ones in my videos. The album starts with Lovelyz' Spotlight intro, hinting at their brighter, more magical and youthful style. Following that is Daya's Will You Go Out With Me as the title track, known just as Go Out in this unit's discography. The song is a bit on the more playful side, and I think it would highlight the synergy in their vocal tones nicely. It's also a nice parallel to 1/3's Love and Live a little bit. IZ*ONE's Oh My follows with a very funk-inspired track. I could see this being a fan favorite track. Dream Note's Wish continues the magical summery feeling. In my opinion, this is the song that will really highlight Chaehyun's vocals, especially in the chorus. I would also put this as the promoted B-side. Promise 9's Miracle continues in much of the same vein. If it were up to me, I would also release a special video for this one with behind-the-scenes footage featuring never-before-seen footage from the solo and duo music videos too. The album ends with Billy's BYOB, Bring Your Own Best Friend. In my head, this is the part of the album that best relates to the story set up in the unit's music video. I would have a special lyric video for it. Also, you can probably tell from how recent it is that it wasn't originally on the track list, but that's because I thought it suited the unit much better than the original choice. After that, we get their repackaged Shine and Up, starting with Lovelyz' introducing the candy, known in this project as Sweet Sunshine. Cherry Bullet's Q&A stars as the title track, leaning into more of the funky style heard in Oh My mixed with video game elements. GWSN's birthday girl 19 Candles, known simply as 19 Candles here, rounds off the discography before Will You Go Out With Me. It reminds me of Rain 51 Decibel, but less in the retro sense, more in the calm atmosphere sense. This brings us to the next round of solos with Dayeon. Now again, her color is forest green, but I decided to change her animal. It is no longer a coyote because that worked better with the story I was telling in the last video. For this one, I thought a turtle would match the symbolisms and atmosphere a lot more. The solo I chose for her is one of my all-time favorites, Yuha's Island. It is the epitome of summer, and I have a very beachy video in mind for her. I think similarly to Luna's own structure, this is where I want the lore aspect to really kick in. I see her chasing down symbols of the other girls and introducing symbols of unrevealed girls in the process. I also love the map from Girlfront, and I think it would be cool to reinterpret that as one of those evidence boards with threads connecting pieces, so by the end of the video, the camera pans out to show the threads created a giant K with a telescope at the center of it. The small outro shows a glass orb similar to a snow globe rolling towards her. Dayeon bending down to pick it up, seeing a turtle and the next animal, then it cuts off right as she turns around to see who rolled it to her. By this point, Luna stopped doing B-side videos for solos, but I figured we could keep going with short videos like Red Velvet's Queendom teasers that feature the first verses and end after the chorus. I wanted her to get a solo from one of the strongest dancers and soloists, and finally landed on Boa's Like It. Despite what I said about wanting the short videos, I think it would work much better to showcase her if it was a performance video. We then move on to Youngeun, who, as I've stated, is an actual ace. She excels in singing, rapping, and dancing, and I think we need to give her her flowers. Her color is still sunshine yellow, but I decided to change her animal as well and go with a fox instead. I want her animal to represent a more mysterious side of her. For her, we could do no wrong by choosing Luna's Free Somebody. Like the original music video, I'm seeing very strong lighting choices. This video would have more of a dance focus with a few shots advancing the story, similarly to the Eclipse video. Pre-chorus, I see her going through a door, entering into a world that's like a tunnel of lights. The second pre-chorus is where I see her being revealed as the person who kicked the orb to Dayeon, revealing that they're connected but not in the same world. The final chorus features the two of them dancing together through a two-way mirror, except Dayeon doesn't see Youngeun. Youngeun sees Dayeon. Youngeun is still in the void on the other side. Outro shows Youngeun waking up on a park bench with headphones on because Dayeon sat next to her. In her B-side, we have Kwon and B and Lovely's Baby Soul on Amigo. The video would again be far more performance focused, but I think the video itself would show the two of them representing two sides, the first in the real world and the second in the in-between world of the void. The final member of this unit is Yeseo, who I have represented with the color lilac and a mouse. I still see her character in this being associated with time, but I won't get into that. Her solo is the first, and I'm pretty sure only, that isn't originally a title track. For her, we get our second Unbi feature with Croquis. In her video, we have somewhat of a return with the verses showing her at the same school as the Daybreak unit, but not interacting with them. By the chorus, we see her in some sort of open space like a park, athletic grounds, parking lot, something of the sort, and get sort of taken over by the choreo. The second verse shows her dizzyingly stepping out of that trance, but now there's two shadowy figures following her. The song drops out right before the pre-chorus, and all we hear is the ambient sounds as Yeseo looks around. We get the point of view of someone hiding behind a large structure before we're drawn right back into the pre-chorus with an intense zoom-in, and Yeseo starts dancing again. This time, however, we start seeing flashes of the void where Youngeun and Dayeon have joined her. In the chorus, we fully transition to that. In the bridge, we see Yeseo running away until she runs into a dead end. She turns around, and for the outro/final chorus, she's embraced the dance and confidently dances along with the visuals switching between this real-life version, the void version, and the version with Dayeon and Youngeun, which is now bathed in colors. The outro of the video shows Yeseo catching her breath and walking off again. Her B-side is Yuha's ZZZ or Poom alongside Youngeun. The small accompanying video shows the three of them at night around a campfire in a classic teen movie style. They have sparklers and the entire video is at like 0.75 per times speed. The name of this unit is Lucky Star, and they make their debut with Lucky and Love, starting with Lovely's Moonrise intro, this time called Lucky Star. Their title track would be GWSN's Pinky Star Run, just known as Run in this track list. Following that is their promoted B-side in i-dle's Last Dance. Ujusonya's La Kitty Cat becomes the quote-unquote representative song in their discography. Jiko's One Day is one of the songs I think fans would be most excited to see a performance for. Before the Closer and Twice's Love Line. I think that's the song where Yeseo would shine the most. Their repackaged comes in the form of Lucky and Lost, starting with Sonamu's prequel as the intro. Daya's Uwa serves as the title track, showing off more of their chic charm. Red Velvet's Butterflies will continue to make appearances until I don't think it's one of the best crafted songs in the world. The third and final unit starts with Hikaru. I decided to keep her representative things as black and a crow. This makes her a direct contrast to Bahiyyih, which I want to keep going with the solo concept. I didn't actually plan for this when I chose this solo, but I thought Hyunna's I'm Not Cool would suit her a lot. If you don't remember, in Bahiyyih's music video we saw her live out a fantasy where she's the most popular in her school, while in this one we'll see her actively reject the expectations of what makes someone popular. Hikaru's refusal to do what makes other people seem cool and doing the opposite, in turn making her the coolest person around. This unit to me would be about embracing what makes you different. In the final chorus that's kind of chanty, I think it would be a great chance to go really big with like an army of backup dancers. Her B-side might be a bit more controversial, but I wanted her to have Jennie's solo. Again, I think just a performance-focused video would be more than enough. Moving on to Mashiro, we're sticking with Sapphire Blue and a red panda for her. If it ain't broke, you know. I think Mashiro is criminally underutilized as a vocalist and performer, and I hope this solo would rectify that to some extent. For her, I chose Miju's Movie Star. Originally, it was Jo Yuri's Glassy, but it never felt 100% right. Now that we have Movie Star, I feel like we could draw a great parallel to Chaehyun. This time, Mashiro is the movie star, going to red carpets, filming scenes, etc., but in the pre-chorus, we see her looking into a mirror and revealing that she still feels like just a regular girl sitting at home, ignoring homework in favor of watching movies. The second verse brings us back to the glitz and glamour reality, but the fake smiles are even more obvious. In the second pre-chorus, a hand reaches out of a giant mirror and Mashiro takes it, going through it to reveal herself and Hikaru in an abandoned theme park. The final chorus shows these two realities of hers rapidly switching between each other before finally blending into one. For her B-side, we get Sunmi's Full Moon with Hikaru covering Lena's rap. The short video is set up to look like a classic silent film from the 20s-ish. I don't really have a theme for the story in mind, I just think Mashiro would eat the concept up. The final member of this unit is obviously Xiaoting. Don't blame me that all the foreign members are in the same unit, blame Mnet's vote ratio. For Xiaoting, Aqua and Gazelles are still such a strong choice, but I also wouldn't be upset if it was a swan. However, I tried really hard to avoid the official Luna animals, so we'll stick with gazelles. Anyways, we all know how slayful Xiaoting is, so I knew she needed another slayful dancer soloist, and I landed on Chungha. There were some more obvious concept selections like Gotta Go or Snapping, but what song could better showcase her background as a ballroom dancer than Play, with Dayeon or Hikaru covering the rap? I don't know dance genres, but I'm pretty sure a samba-inspired choreo is what I'm looking for. Genuinely feel free to correct me in the comments because I know what I'm thinking of, I just can't piece together the correct search terms. Anyways, this video would draw a parallel to Yujin's with the elements of the dance being the biggest contrast. Again, I am so bad with dance terms, but somewhere in the back of my head I remember a dance competition show where they did a dance to a similar song, and one thing they emphasized was that the audience needs to believe in the attraction between the dancers. Basically, while in pop we saw Yujin imagining herself as someone with an undeniable hold over the person she liked, while in reality they liked someone else. In this one, there's no denying the two main characters are drawn to each other, but something is also trying to keep them apart. I'm not really sure how this would combine into Mashiro and Hikaru's things, but I just think Xiaoting would eat. Maybe it ends with a second dancer drawing her into something like a forest in the bridge where we see Xiaoting looking around for them as they appear and disappear between gaps in the trees. She sets out after them in between dance scenes in the final chorus, and they lead her to the abandoned amusement park where Hikaru and Mashiro are waiting for her. In the B-side, we get Mashiro joining her for Red Velvet, Irene, and Seulgi's Jelly. Again, I don't really have anything in mind, but I think maybe something like Khan's I'm Your Girl video would fit it. Their unit is called Moondust, completing the celestial trilogy of Sun, Stars, and Moon. Their first release is this frankly horrifyingly badly edited album called Before and Now. I didn't intentionally have the last unit of this project do all lowercase, but it just felt like it suited the vibes. The album starts with Chungha's side C Unknown, known just as Unknown in this track list. Twice's Breakthrough is our title track, and I did not intentionally choose a Japanese song, I just fell for Breakthrough and couldn't find another song that matched the vibe. I wasn't the biggest fan of Ives Royal at first, but I thought it really suited the vibes of this unit, a good contrast to the title. Things pick up a bit more for Wekimeki's True Valentine, which I consider this unit's promotional B-side. Into our obligatory slow song or ballad for Bandits Fly. Finally ending on A-Pink's All Right. It brings a bit of a magical touch to the track list. For their repack, I went with Before and After, named after the intro from Dreamcatcher, which is also the intro for this album. Lightsum's Vivace serves as the title track, leaning into a bit more of that magical vibe introduced in A-Pink's All Right. The project ends on Red Velvet's Knock on Wood to give a good transition from the magical vibes into Breakthrough. I wish I had plans for the subunit stories, but I think this video is long enough for something that was just supposed to be an easy project. So that's my reimagining of Kep1er through the lens of the Who's Next Girl project. I didn't really go into the video with any idea of what the visual story would be, so that's why the music video explanations are so messy and inconsistent, but I hope you guys still got the vision.